$794 million. And what we're looking at, what we did is to go back and give you some history about this is we've had a problem with the communications with the police department for a number of years now. That's been growing larger with time as the city grows as well as the police department. And the problem with it is the noise floor that we have because of the frequency congestion in the VHF high band range that we use currently. And we don't have the equipment we need to take care of that. And we hired a consultant last year to evaluate our communications needs and see what the city's current systems are and what we would need to improve the communications for the city overall. And they came back with the recommendations for what we would need for that. And one of the biggest opportunities to improve the coverage for them is to move from the VHF high band that we're currently using to an 800 meg frequency that's much higher. Well, it's a much higher frequency, so the noise floor is much lower than existing VHF, and it also penetrates buildings better. Okay, I'm having a little assistance here with Jeremy for sharing the screen here. So
great, we can see it.
The Public Works and Infrastructure Replacement Site, CIP, the City of Missoula's communication infrastructure is essential to public service and public works operations. And one of the big problems we have as well with the equipment we have now is it's past its life expectancy, and it's no longer supported by the manufacturer with a lot of it for the infrastructure too. So we're at a point where we both need to replace it because of the age, but also with the new technology and with the newer higher frequency band. And without that, we're having some serious communications problems with the police department, particularly that where safety as well as the public safety is really becoming an issue when they get to places where they're not able to communicate out of, where they might need assistance themselves or for somebody in the public that needs assistance as well, and they aren't able to get out with their radios. And with this older equipment not being supported without any spare equipment, we could have a failure any time that could take the entire system down, and they would be totally at a loss at that point. So the city and the county have separate systems, but they're based on the same thing. They're dispatched out of the 911 center. The 911 in Missoula County and the 911 center is responsible for the infrastructure for the county and the rural communications, but the city Public Works and Mobility Department maintains the city's police system as part of the police, fire, and Public Works and Mobility Department. As I said earlier, we contracted with Mission Critical Partners as their communications consulting firm that came in and reviewed all the communications equipment we have, what our needs are currently, what our needs are be in the future, as well as the Missoula counties made recommendations on what to do to improve the communications for the city and the county individually. And they looked at how the different systems operate independently. Pardon me. And the current issues we have within the city, as well as the issues the county are having, and they make recommendations on how to address those and which direction to go, and give us a cost estimate of what those features would be. They valued several different options, whether we went with a conventional system that we currently have, or a trunk type system that would interface with other systems around the state. And we elected to stay with the conventional system that we have currently, but buy equipment that has the option to upgrade it into a trunk system later if we so decided that would be beneficial for us at the time. As I said, the current hardware we have is past its end of life, and support is difficult to obtain. The manufacturers don't have support for most of the equipment we have for the infrastructure at our communication sites, and including our microwave. And the city and county's radio systems are on the same hardware and software versions, so they're kind of in the same boat as we are as well. Is because most of the equipment was bought on a grant in 2006, and so it's pretty much the same vintage. Each system uses third-party components not supported by the radio manufacturer, so we don't have a single source manufacturer for all the equipment. We have different parts and portions of it that are manufactured by multiple companies that we put together, kind of a building block type thing. Most equipment at the radio sites can be reused. What they mean by that is the buildings can be reused, the towers can be reused, and some of the antennas and support equipment. The power supplies here, it says the UPSs and stuff. We are looking at upgrading the battery systems at sites, and the sites themselves, the equipment are in good shape, other than the internal equipment for the communication stuff. The city's radio system requires what we call an immediate life or solution, and that's a term that was developed by the consultant because of the serious problems we have, particularly with the police department, and the ability to communicate out of areas when they need help. As I said, the high noise floor VHF is 20 decibels or better at times, depending on the time of year and the situation stuff. And to explain what that means is every 10 decibels requires 10 times the signal to get the same from, like, say, a portable radio back to the repeater to the 911 center. So an officer that's out on his portable, his ability is that he gets 1/10 of the signal up to the repeater for every 10 decibels. So 20 dB is 100. So you're down to 1% of what your transmit signal is, and you're really limited on your power out of a portable radio. It's only a 5-watt radio. So when you put that radio up next to your body, as you have to use it in the way they operate, in the signal's kind of blocked somewhat by their body, but also by this noise floor just shoots them right. I mean, it just takes that portable, when it can be normally it'd be sounding good in certain areas, to the point where it's not readable or at all by the 911 center. And that's where we run into the problem. And then also the lack of inbuilt building coverage due to new construction of large buildings. Our system was never really designed to handle talking into a large building. Hospitals and schools in particular, and a lot of the newer construction downtown are building buildings that VHF can, because of its wavelength, it has troubles penetrating into the building and getting back out with the portables. And that's one of the things that 800 meg does a lot better than the VHF band that we're currently using now, is it has the ability to get out of those buildings much better, as well as having a much lower noise floor is what we have on the VHF band. The consultant came out with a total estimated cost for what we needed to do to completely rebuild our communication system at $5.502 million. And we included that into the FY22 Public Works Mobility CIP plan, which I guess was approved but not funded. And it was to be financed by general fund debt services and other potential grant sources. What we were recommending, based on the study that the consultant did and the work, is we'll replace our current conventional simulcast system with a Part 25 digital conventional simulcast system. We'll add sites to improve the coverage, and that's leveraging what we'll be doing is installing equipment onto the county sites that they'll allow us to use, not to develop additional sites that will help us better cover areas around Missoula as the city moves and grows out to the west towards the Y, the Mullen Road area, and as it moves to the east towards East Missoula and Bonner. We'll use the city police will primarily use the 900 or 800 meg system in the city, and we'll eventually move the fire and public works over to the 800 meg band. This includes refreshing the paging system radio frequency components. The fire department uses in-station program or paging when they're paged to go out for the individual stations, and that basically what that refresh is to replace that existing equipment because of its age, to maintain system reliability for their ability to be contacted whenever they're needed. We estimated doing the work internally ourselves, and with this radio purchase here is phase one of that we can do that entire project that was estimated to be roughly $5.5 million. We can do it ourselves for $2.9 to $3.2 million, but with internally.
Rick, I'm gonna interrupt you only because we have just a couple of minutes left and I see a couple of hands up. Would you mind taking questions, or how much left do you have of the presentation?
I don't think there's too much more left. What we're asking, like I said, we're asking for today is the authorization to purchase all new portables and mobile radios for the entire city. And I'll get the dual band radios as part, and that'll be phase one of this project to replace our entire communication system and upgrade it to 800 megahertz. And that's, I think it was 229 portable radios. And I think we had, I don't have the exact number right in front of me at the moment. I think 138 mobile radios.
That's okay, Rick. We can find that information later.
One important thing I wanted to point out too is the price of the radios we're buying, because of the special deal. It's a one-time deal, believe it or not. That if we purchase the radios now, it will save about $500,000 if we have to purchase them going from next month on. And that's only if we get the order placed by September 27th.
Great. Yeah, that's a significant savings. And so we need to move quickly if we want to save that. I have several hands up. Ms. Anderson.
I'm having trouble hearing you there for some reason. I don't know. Let's try it again.
So Rick, thank you, Madam Chair, for I will let you finish and then ask my couple questions. And
okay, Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we went through most of that, what we needed to cover with that. I think hopefully I explained it in such a way that you understand what I was trying to say.
Yep, we did. I think you gave us a lot of good information to make decisions, so appreciate it. With that, oh, sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
Oh, I think Stacy was before me and she was just waiting for Mr. Larson to finish.
Okay, so Stacy.
yeah, and thanks so much for that, Ms. Giesecke. And I do, Madam Chair, see that both Assistant Chief Davis and Police Chief White have raised their hands, and so they might have a little bit of context to add to this. And then that might answer my questions.
Gotcha. Chief White, you're on if you would like to add any comments to it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I would just like to reiterate the urgency of this matter for us. It is a serious public safety concern that our officers don't have the ability to communicate with 911, either to get help for themselves or to receive information from 911 when there is a call for service from the public. Whenever we have these incidents occur, we have been documenting for quite some time when we have these radio failures. So in addition to the independent study that was commissioned by the city and county, we also have logs of when our officers have been unable to transmit or receive information from dispatch or be able to talk to one another. And like I said, this is a very urgent matter for us for the safety of the citizens and safety of our officers on the street.
Yep, understand. Okay, Ms. Anderson.
I hate to quit deferring, but I do see that AC Davis also has his hand up.
Okay, AC Davis, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to second everything Chief White said. I don't need to tell this group that communications is one of the most critical pieces of public safety, not only for our citizens, but for our first responders as well. And just wanted to talk real quickly, for the sake of time, that the immediate need is clear. The cost savings by moving quickly is a huge benefit. Our fire department radios are at the end of their serviceable life. We are going to have to purchase radios one way or another. If we can get it done now at a huge cost savings, that's a benefit for everybody. And the city county infrastructure upgrade is a much needed of our communication network here in the Missoula Valley. So absolutely needed pieces of equipment. And as we look at the end of life for our self-contained breathing apparatus that we are currently speccing out, there is upgraded communication pieces and components in those face masks that we are looking at that would only link to these newer style radios, which again is a very clear communication from a firefighter inside a structure with a face mask on, which is going to be increased life safety communication. So that's all I have. Thank you, Rick, for your presentation and the committee on all the hard work getting to this point in the radio infrastructure upgrade. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, much appreciated. With that, Miss Anderson.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. I just wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to present as well. And I'm happy to make the recommended motion because I know that we are out of time for this committee. I do have a couple of questions in just regards to just make sure I have the order of operations, and I don't know if Dale or Rick want to answer this. So the consultant that we hired said the project was going to be a total estimate of $5.5 million. Because we are able to do a lot of the work internally, we are saving money, and the total project is about $2.9 million. The first phase of that project is to purchase these radios. And if we do so by the 27th of this month, we will be able to take advantage of the one-time savings, therefore bringing the price down to, and what is listed on the agenda and what was listed in the presentation, there's two different numbers. It's on the referral on the agenda, it says purchasing the radios for a total cost not to exceed of $1,562,952.63. However, the amount listed in the presentation and the referral is a 1.9 and change number. So I just wanted to make sure which one I was making the recommended motion on. And my final question, I'll get this all out so we can get going, is this just for the city's component, the city's portion of this, or are we working in conjunction with the county, and are they doing the same thing so that we have a integrated system that will all be purchased and functioning at the same time?
You're muted, Mr. Larson.
I unmuted it.
Oh, there we go. We're working in conjunction with the county. They're also purchasing radios at the same time that'll be compatible with ours. They're making some changes on their system unrelated to what we do. out in the county. But yes, we are working with them to make sure that we can communicate with them as well now and in the future. And that number, that $1.5 million, I apologize for not getting that corrected. We originally got a quote from them that didn't take into account their price increases that they've had this year. It was originally, we thought it was going to be the $1.5 million. It is the 1.972794 million.
Thank you so much. I will make the motion to move forward with the authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for up to the 1.9 number. Thank you so much.
And let's see. I see Chief White, did you have anything to add?
I don't. I'm trying to figure out how to
Okay.
unmute my hand.
I'll do that. Okay. Mr. Hess.
I think Ms. Basico is before me.
I'm sorry. Between Stacy and Sandra, I got Sandra, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I'm just a little bit confused. So in the presentation, it said that this purchase was approved in the budget. However, it was not funded. So why was it not funded, and why do we need to take out loans for this? That's my question. Thank you.
Dale, go ahead.
So the project overall was approved in the budget through the CIP process, and as a matter of course, and oftentimes you'll see throughout that CIP there are areas where it shows it is not funded. That's because we are working to cobble together the funding packages necessary to finish projects like this one. And we've been working closely with the county trying to figure out how to implement this. The original study itself between the two entities was over $11 million. So a substantial investment required to upgrade our public safety communications. However, this phase one it's a critical need, as you heard from Chief White and AC Davis, and we were able to get such a great deal on this negotiation that we felt that it was necessary to move forward. So the only way we were able to have the resources available to do that is take advantage of their 0% lease program rather than try to find cash that we would have to take from somewhere else.
May I follow up very quickly?
Very quickly, because I'm sweating
Okay.
bullets here to kind of finish.
With a very, very heavy heart, I have to disagree with this motion. I really, really agree with that. This is absolutely necessary, but I cannot agree with the funding mechanism, so I will not support this.
Okay. And lastly, Jordan.
Great, thanks. This is a great project. I'm excited to see this upgrade coming. I know there were some other partners that were consulted in the planning process. I know the University Police Department is in a not quite as untenable, but similarly bad situation for radios, and Mountain Line is as well. And so I guess I'm wondering if the door remains open for other partner agencies to participate in future phases of this project.
We haven't really looked at other agencies with this. This is kind of a short-term deal. We're trying to take care of our own needs as well as provide interoperable communications with other agencies. And that's one of the reasons why we're looking at getting the dual band radios, so that we can still communicate with people that do have VHF radios, or we can move ourselves over to 800 meg. But the funding thing is it's only the Missoula, city of Missoula and Missoula County have that offer. And like I said, it's a one-time deal. So we really haven't had the time to even talk to other people, and nor would they be probably eligible for that.
Yeah, I guess let me maybe restate it. What I was more wondering was nothing about this precludes us from in the future from working with other agencies and bringing others on board in this overall system. I mean, there's nothing here that would shut the door to future collaboration.
We probably won't. They won't necessarily be using our system, but no, we can still collaborate with them. And at some point in the future, they might be able to leverage something we're doing, but we aren't looking at that at this time, nor are we excluding them either.
Thanks.
I'm gonna try to move us along. We gotta wrap up. Dale,
I was
last
just going to
words.
say, follow up Jordan's question. As a part of the study, there was sections on revisiting governance and how we cooperate with our other agencies, particularly Missoula County. Be it they run the 911 center, and so I think there are lots of opportunities for us to collaborate with these other agencies in the future as that next infrastructure piece, that phase 2 aspect of the other infrastructure comes in.
Great. Okay, we have a motion on the floor for this item. Still no public in attendance. So Bella, let's go ahead and take a roll call vote for item number 3.
All right, let's run through this quickly. Becerra,
Yes.
Contos,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Cheryl, Vasika,
No.
Lossberg,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
And Anderson, Bella.
Anderson.
And I'm sorry, I may have not gotten on your roll call at the very beginning of the meeting. Julie Merritt, I also vote yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know.
And
That's
Hess as
anyone
well.
else?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And yes,
Okay.
Anderson is here and voting yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was not unanimous. I suggest that we put it on committee reports in case there's any other further discussion or more questions on this.
I would prefer that. Thank you.
Okay, we will quickly go to item number 1, and that was a motion made by Sandra Vasika.
All right, Anderson,
Yes.
Becerra,
Yes.
Contos,
No.
Harp,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Vasika,
Yes.
Lossberg,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Okay, that's unanimous and will be on our consent agenda. And, no, I'm
Pardon me,
sorry.
Contos voted no on that.
I'm sorry. Yes, Contos, voted out, so that will be on committee reports. And now item number 2. That was a motion made by Sandra Vasik as well.
All right, Anderson,
Yes.
Becerra,
Yes.
Contos,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Vasika,
Yes.
Lossberg,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that was unanimous, so it'll be on our consent agenda. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Jordan Hess, for lending us a few extra minutes from LUP.
Can I make a quick announcement about that?
Yes.
So I will, I'll get signed into Zoom to let folks know, but we'll start that committee at 1:45.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we adjourn. Thank you, everyone. Bella, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with me on those difficulties.
No problem. Okay.